Coming up on Carolina News. First, we look into a popular rideshare program and why it might not be popular anymore. Then, a homeless soldier is laid to rest, giving him a forever home in the Midlands.
He was not by himself because there were veterans all over the place taking care of him.
And finally, as the holidays approach, where should families put all that ripped wrapping paper?
People are kind of cleaning out, getting new stuff at Christmas time. So we see some odd stuff that comes through at that time.
Carolina News starts now.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Callista Brown.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Taylor Hicks. Rideshare services are very popular, but just how safe are they? Uber released their first U.S. safety report, which stated that there were over 3,000 sexual assaults in 2018.
This is the first safety report a rideshare company has released. We have our reporter Rose Catherine James live in 5 Points with more on those numbers. Rose Catherine?
Yeah, Uber's report was really shocking. The report includes data from 2017 to 2018, and Uber tried to continually contextualize their numbers, saying that 99.9% of all rides have zero incidents. It's only a small fraction that occur with critical safety instances, but that's nearly 6,000 people.
It's scary. It's expensive and low-key sketchy sometimes.
Uber is not known for safety, and their latest safety report doesn't help this idea. In 2017 and 2018, nearly 6,000 sexual assaults were reported. Uber identifies sexual assault as everything from non-consensual kissing to rape. And while sexual assault did go up between 2017 and 2018, they have gone down 17% in 2019. Of the rape victims, over 90% were riders who were abused by drivers, and nearly 90% were women. Surprisingly, though, almost half of all sexual assault victims were drivers who were abused by riders.
I don't know who would call an Uber to harass the driver, but...
Uber safety hits home here in Columbia with the death of USC student Samantha Josephson, not even a year old. Josephson was murdered in March when she entered a car in 5 Points she thought was the Uber she ordered. Since then, Uber has implemented more safety measures, but USC students still say the service can be nerve-wracking.
I'll try to take the shuttle or walk if possible. It can be uncomfortable, especially if you're by yourself.
Uber emphasized their new safety features in their report, which includes an in-app button to call 911, tracking, and real-time driver IDs. Uber also said that they will release this report every 2 years, which many are hoping will increase transparency and encourage other rideshare programs to do the same. Reporting live from 5 Points for Carolina News, I'm Rose Catherine James.
Thanks, Rose Catherine. A former Lexington 1 elementary teacher has been arrested for sexual contact with a minor. 42-year-old Hain Lucas Esturez Rodriguez was brought back to Lexington County after fleeing to Ecuador. Esturez engaged in sexual battery with a Red Bank elementary student on multiple occasions and is now awaiting a bond hearing on 2 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct with the minor. A Head Start teacher has been released from jail by a court order after being arrested for unlawful conduct towards a child. A video shows 67-year-old Gladys Ricks making physical contact with 2 3-year-old boys. The first incident happened on October 11th and the second on November 14th. Officials said neither of the boys were injured, but the Ruby J. Johnson Head Start School has a zero tolerance for corporal punishment. Well, there's a lot going on around us today, but we can't forget about one thing that affects us all.
That's right, Callista. We have Emily AC outside to give us our first look at the weather. Emily?
Thanks, y'all. It's a little gloomy out here right now, but with all this cloud coverage comes lovely temperatures. It's a comfortable 62 out right now, and even though I'm wearing my jacket, it's not too bad. However, it's going to drop into the low 40s tonight, but don't worry, tomorrow it's going to clear up. It's going to fluctuate as we go on into later the week, but I'll have more for you on that later. For now, back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Emily. A Greenville County deputy unintentionally shot a suspect's mother during an in-home confrontation. Body camera video shows a deputy attempting to arrest Sean Theodore Kazier during a shoplifting investigation. Kazier's mother, Diane Maros, was also in the room and attempted to hold Kazier back when he is later seen coming towards the officer. The officer then shoots the first gunshot and strikes Kazier's mother. Kazier's mother is still in the hospital recovering from the gunshot wound. A deadly shooting today at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, Florida is being investigated as a possible terrorist attack. At least 4 people were killed and 7 others injured, including two sheriff deputies. The base is populated by over 23,000, including 16,000 military personnel. Officials say the shooter killed himself following the attack. Military and law enforcement officers say that the shooter was a Saudi aviation student, leading the authorities to investigate if it was terrorism related.
A veteran was laid to rest today at Fort Jackson Cemetery. Our reporter Natalie Chuck attended the service of the unclaimed veteran and learned of a program that gives veterans without family a final resting place.
Where no rockets fly, nor bullets wing.
As of today, Private First Class Daniel Benton Barker now rests in Fort Jackson Cemetery. The funeral service was not hosted by family or friends, but strangers and other veterans. Barker passed away on October 14th with no home and no one to claim his body. But Marine Corps veteran and commander of South Carolina's American Legion, Walt Richardson, says the connection among veterans is as close as kin.
Please understand that veterans are a close-knit family. I mean, you can look out here, look at the ones that came today.
Richardson insists that when you're a veteran, you're never really alone.
This veteran, was by himself. He was not by himself because there were veterans all over the place taking care of him.
According to the program's chairman, William Lynch, over 500 people in Richland County are homeless, and 1 out of 10 of them are veterans. So Benton's service emphasized keeping veterans in need in mind.
We're not asking for anything special. We're just asking for a even break, a level playing field, and treat us right.
And as for Barker, he's finally been welcomed home.
My heart to fear.
With the voices of angels. For Carolina News, I'm Natalie Chuck.
The flag that covered Private First Class Barker's casket is being donated to the American Legion and used for Boy Scouts to learn the proper folding techniques and how to honor America's flag.
Coming up next on Carolina News. Welcome back to Carolina News. A young artist discovered her talent after attending a paint and sip event with her mother. Fast forward 5 years and an art degree later, she now has a mass following on Instagram and tons of artwork to show. Reporter Angela Howe has more.
Has a work of art ever made you feel happy or sad? Art has the capacity to evoke emotions from laughter to tears. Jalen Johnson is a recent graduate from the Savannah College of Art and Design who knows what it's like to inspire others with her creations.
I'm just creating like in my own little world, and then people see what I'm doing and they're like, oh wow, this means this makes me feel that, and that's a kind of boost that I need to keep creating.
Jay holds a bachelor's of fine arts in fabrics, so her art ranges from canvas paintings to mixed mediums and even clothing.
Before she was studying at the Savannah School of Art and Design, Jay was at a paint and sip event here at the Studio Cellar, creating the painting that would inspire her to become an artist.
What made me want to paint is seeing people's reactions to my first painting. And after the feedback, it really inspired me to keep painting, and that turned into canvas paintings.
Jay's mother knew early on that Jay was creative.
But that was her very first painting she created at Studio Cellar, and it just kind of progressed from there. That her paintings reach people in a different way. You look at it and some people see one thing, another person sees another thing, so that is when, again, she really started picking up her painting.
Her paintings mostly consist of women surrounded by bright colors and flowers.
I'm really just expressing kind of my experience being who I am. So I'm always painting these women in nature and like in this world of some sort, but that's just kind of like how my soul looks in a way. If someone were to paint how how I'm experiencing all of this, and I think that's what it would look like, the things that I create and the people that I paint.
How do you put a price on a soul? Jay sells her artwork at the market downtown and on her website, starting at $24 for prints to up to $900 for original canvases. So what's next for the 22-year-old?
I would love to see all different types of outcomes. Hopefully runway shows, wallpapers, anything that can kind of bring my art to life in another way.
But for now, she's just happy to be painting. For Carolina News, I'm Angela Howell.
If you would like to see more of Jalen Johnson's work, you can go to her website at thejdaisy.com to buy a print or commission a portrait.
A former U.S. attorney will be the next U.S. district judge for the state of South Carolina. The U.S. Senate confirmed Sherry Linden in a bipartisan vote on Thursday. In May 2018, Linden became the first woman appointed by a president to serve the U.S. Attorney for South Carolina. President Trump nominated her in mid-September, but still has to sign a commission to make Linden's new position official. South Carolina State University is getting a $1.4 million grant from state lawmakers to improve diversity among educators. The Teacher Education Initiative is a partnership with Claflin University to encourage more minorities to enter into the teaching profession. The program will serve 11th and 12th grade students in Orangeburg, Clarendon, and Calhoun counties. It's set to begin early next year.
Well, the holidays are finally here, and that means lots of boxes, wrapping paper, and presents. But making sure to recycle them the right way will make things easier for you and your local recycling team. Reporter Lindsay Thorpe has all of the necessary tips on what to recycle and what not to recycle before the holidays.
Around 79% of people recycle on a daily basis, and that number only increases during the holiday season. But the problem is people don't know what to recycle and what not to recycle. People all over the world recycle daily as a way to help keep the planet clean. Plant lead and supervisor of Sunoco Recycling in Columbia, South Carolina, Kevin Duve, says they see some odd items coming off those trucks which can stop the machines.
Just like I said, the Christmas lights, people throw big toys away, kids' toys, that's stuff we don't use. Microwaves, metal, it's not good in our machines.
Sunoco Recycling is a leading recycling plant located in more than 100 cities that collects more than 3 million tons of paper, plastic, and other materials each year. And that number fluctuates each season.
Around October, there's actually a decrease in the amount that comes through here. But when, Black Friday and shopping for Christmas for families, a lot of that increases for specific materials, mainly around cardboard. So, everybody wants to go shopping for big screen TVs, but a lot of that's mainly just on the fiber products that we have.
Keeping in mind during the holiday season to put as much thought into throwing away your wrapping paper as you did wrapping those presents. If you all do decide to recycle this holiday season, remember you cannot recycle Christmas trees, Christmas lights, and shiny paper, but you can recycle boxes, tissue paper, and bottles. For Carolina News, I'm Lindsay Thorpe.
The Richland County Sunoco Recycling now accepts additional household materials such as composite cans, glass, and magazines, so it makes it easier on the manufacturer workers this holiday season.
Teammates of a Thursday morning bowling league helped celebrate a member's big day. Joe Barnes' 90th birthday is next week, but they wanted to surprise her early with cake and a few family members. She showed up at JC's Bowling Thursday morning expecting a normal day of bowling, pins and strikes, but little did she know that a surprise was waiting on her. Those who put the event together said not only they admire her for continuing to bowl at her age, but for her beautiful spirit as well. Prisma Health Children's Hospital is giving kids a chance to be Santa this year with Operation Santa program. Mid-Carolina Electric helped to fill the hospital's playroom with gifts just like Santa's workshop. The kids can then pick 2 items and wrap them for family members. Taylor, that is just too sweet.
That is the sweetest thing. And with Christmas right around the corner, I can't believe that we're still in the 60s today.
I know. It's crazy. Let's go back out to Emily AC to see if anything has changed. Emily?
Thanks, y'all. It's still kind of gloomy outside, but that sun is trying to peek through. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, but like I said earlier, that weather is definitely going to fluctuate. I'll have more for you right after this break.
Welcome back to Carolina News. Emily Acey has joined us for our weather update and 5-day forecast.
Yeah, Emily, this weather has been all over the place these past few days. What can we expect for the next
really,
few days?
It really has. It's been insane. I mean, with all the 60 degrees and everything, I can't even pick an outfit half the time. But luckily today it was a beautiful 62 and the humidity is around 40%, which means my hair isn't exploding and most people's hair is kind of staying calm. But with the winds coming out of the northwest, it's not going to cool down too much. Now, if we look across the state, we're kind of seeing the same trends along, except for the upstate. It's in the high 50s, which is a little chillier for us. But if you look down at the coast, Myrtle Beach is 61, Charleston and Hilton Head are at 65, and Orangeburg is at 64. Now, when we look at tonight, like I said earlier, it is going to drop like a rock. It's going to be 42 in Columbia and 40 in the upstate. The coast is hanging tight to those high to mid 40s, and Hilton Head is sitting at 50 degrees. But if we look at tomorrow, it's going to jump back up to 60s. Columbia is going to sit at around 62, and the upstate again is going to be 57 and 59, and Rock Hill and Greenville respectively. But the coast is going to cool down just a little bit. Myrtle Beach is going to reach 59 degrees, while Charleston and Hilton Head are at 64 and 62. Now that fluctuation is coming tomorrow night. It is going to be freezing, and I mean literally. Rock Hill is hitting 32 degrees, while Columbia is going to sit at 36. Greenville is going to be around 38, and that coast is even going to experience this cold weather at 38 degrees, 42, and 47. But if we look at our 5-day forecast, you'll see, again, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be really pretty during the day, but those cool temperatures are going to hit hard at night. And if we look at the beginning of next week, we are going to see rain and high temperatures at 62 and 47 for the lows for Monday and Tuesday. But Wednesday is going to start clearing up a little bit with the temperature being around 55 degrees and a low of 34. And it's not great.
It's not.
It's not below freezing and snow, so not too bad.
I'm not ready for those freezing temperatures, Emily.
No.
Well, sports is next on Carolina News, and the women's volleyball team will start their tournament run tonight. We'll tell you who they're going to play next.
Welcome back to Carolina News.
Drew Hill is here to talk about sports. And the women's volleyball team is out in Seattle.
They are. I know they had to travel pretty far, but the Gamecock women's volleyball team is gearing up for their first round game of the NCAA tournament tonight. They will be taking on number 10 Colorado State. The Gamecocks finished the SEC season at 11-7, which is the most wins since 2008. The team also had 8 wins over their last 11 matches. Head coach Tom Mendoza is the first coach since 1993 to get to the postseason twice in his first 2 years. The match begins at 8 p.m., so go to GamecocksOnline.com to watch the live stream. The Gamecock women's basketball team is back in action after claiming the Paradise Jam tournament title. After falling to Indiana last week, the ladies bounced back and beat Washington State and number 2 Baylor to win the title. The ladies will be traveling to Philadelphia to take on Temple tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. The men's basketball team is also in action this weekend. After 2 neutral site losses last week, the men's team has recovered and won 2 in a row, beating George Washington and UMass. The Gamecocks will be taking on Houston Sunday afternoon at Colonial Life Arena and hope to make it a 3-game win streak. Tip-off is at noon, so if you're coming to the game, make sure to get there early. And for those of you staying home, the game will be broadcast on ESPNU. The Dallas Cowboys suffered their 3rd straight loss on Thursday Night Football last night, despite Dak Prescott throwing for 334 yards. The Cowboys couldn't pull out the win. The Cowboys did strike first with an Ezekiel Elliott touchdown run, but the Bears scored 17 points in the second quarter going into halftime. The Bears scored another touchdown in the third quarter, making it 24-7. That's when the Cowboys decided to mount a comeback, scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough. They fall 31-24 after a 23-yard touchdown run by quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Chicago improves to 7-6 and Dallas falls to 6-7. And although the Gamecocks won't be in action tomorrow, don't fear, there are plenty of exciting college football matchups tomorrow since it's championship week. Each Power 5 conference will have a conference champion crowned by tomorrow night. In the Big 12, number 6 Oklahoma is taking on number 7 Baylor at noon on ABC. The SEC championship will be decided in Atlanta. Number 2 LSU is taking on number 4 Georgia on CBS at 4 p.m. The ACC championship is kicking off at 7:30 p.m. on ABC, featuring number 3 Clemson taking on number 23 Virginia. And the Big 10 championship game is at 8 p.m. Number 1 Ohio State is taking on number 8 Wisconsin for the second time this season. That game will be on Fox. Finally, tonight, kicking off championship weekend, the Pac-12, with number 13 Oregon taking on number 5 Utah on ABC at 8 p.m.
That should be a lot of good games on this weekend.
Yes. Well, still more to come on Carolina News. When we come back, we'll tell you about the shocking way one Tennessee aquarium lit up a Christmas tree. Finally tonight on Carolina News, tree lighting ceremonies are common this time of year, but this aquarium had a special helper with theirs, Miguel Watson. The electric eel was the guest of honor. Every time Miguel let out an electric shock, the Christmas tree would glow.
That is one way to spark in that Christmas spirit.
I know, it's lit in Tennessee, but Emily, is it lit in South Carolina?
You know, guys, it's kind of lit here, or at least it will be tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful, like I said, in the mid to low 60s, but be prepared for the beginning of next week because it will rain, even though it'll be 75 degrees and cool down by the middle of the week. But it's something to look forward to, and it's Christmas time, so it's okay.
Thanks, Emily. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for being with us on our last 4 o'clock show.
Aw, stick around for just one more time, but for now, have a great evening.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you